still working on my morning coffee. I find I tend to sip it very slowly in the mornings. Like, seen yesterday, I had an incident. It was like 10 o'clock, and I spilled like a half full cup of like cold coffee on myself, somewhat on my desk. Most of it got on me just because of the way the coffee mug fell. And then, of course, it got all over the floor. And I was supposed to be in a meeting, and it was a moment, and I was just like, and I was wearing this very long cotton dress. So it just absorbed the coffee immediately. And it was cold too. So it was just like shocking as well. It was like a moment of just spectacular chaos. And I felt sorry for myself. Hi, Weird Beatnik. You got a new profile pic? Let's see it. Very nice. Yeah, so I don't know why I told you all this story. I'm still working on this coffee. I've been sipping it all morning, and it's kind of cold. And I'm hoping to finish it while I'm on cam here. Should be here for a little while. I've got to work on my nails. I didn't finish them the other night when I was doing them, and they've just been kind of left without any top coat or anything. What a disaster. So yeah, I'll probably be doing that. And then if I'm still on after that dries, I'll probably work on my pace here, my drawing, and just chat with whoever comes in. We'll see where the conversation goes. I mean, you're free to lead the conversation too if you're watching. Anything you want me to talk about, let's talk about it. Title of this video is inspired by the Depeche Mode album, Catching Up with Depeche Mode. One of the earliest pieces of their music I came across. And it's kind of a compilation from multiple albums and some unreleased stuff at that time. So it's a good little mix. It has a lot of their early hits on it as well. So, and that's a really good like time period for them as well. I really love like the Black Celebration era. That album is just perfect, Anyway. Oh, I love them. I love their music. It's so good. They're very left wing though. A lot of their early music, and even now, like you listen to it and it's very like they're saying some stuff. And it's interesting that they also adopted that kind of like sadomasochistic vibe as well. It's interesting. I think, a lot of that stuff, and people get really deep into those politics, they're often really into that kind of behavior, and also like that kind of just dynamic of like domination and submission and being obsessed with like power games and power struggles, because it's like how they see the world. If that's how you see society completely, like that's how you're going to behave. And be unconscious of it as well, because in that kind of worldview, everything is external to you. You're never looking inwardly to see what's going on with you and how it's being reflected to you. It's always like this outer thing is impacting you. So there's fundamentally like a feeling of deep powerlessness in that kind of perspective. Yeah, it is, isn't it? I know. I was just listening to one of my early like radicalized music, like music that radicalized me. I was listening to Salt and Peppa's Black's Magic album. So like revisiting, and it's an album I listen to, probably once or twice a year. So yeah, I was revisiting it, and I was just like, okay, they're really saying some stuff. Like they were very what's that? My cat's talking to me. He's been ignoring me since I fed him, and now he has something to say to me. Now you want me. Now that I'm engrossed in other things, now you want me. Is that it? Is that how that works? Now you want my attention? Now that I'm doing something else? How typical. Yeah, a lot of music is very left wing. So yeah, Salt and Peppa's Black's Magic. I mean, it's just apparent. Like there's black radicalism, there's feminism in it. They also have like a very third wave feminist ethic. It's interesting though because they have that song like "Let's Talk About Sex," which is also like that was a very big influential song actually. Like I remember hearing it really was pushing the bar at the time. Like just how it wasn't even like graphic like when I think about it now, but it was graphic in the way that like it was putting like that word in your face and kind of making it real as opposed to like something in songs that's always like implied, you know. A lot of music implies sexual activity but it won't talk about it like in plain terms. And then yeah, so there's like that song, and then there's like Independent, which is all about being an independent woman, you know, and like that kind of mindset. And I was listening to it, and I was like, God, this is kind of relatable. Like, did this influence me or is it like reflecting me? And I was thinking about like that. Just the message of the song and the woman she's describing, it's like, you know, like I wonder sometimes, you know, how do I reconcile my independent nature with like wanting to be, I don't know, like connected to other people, you know, and I know I have to be. I rely on other people a lot, but it's a struggle between like the part of my nature that wants to be alone in my own company at times and just kind of seeing what I can do of myself. I don't know. Mm, it's a struggle, I guess. It's one of the things in the world. So yeah, it's like listening to that album, being like, oh, this is kind of like album is really pushing it. And they use the term like feminist in the music a couple of times actually in that album. So I don't know. A lot of music's political. I mean, and a lot of it's left wing because a lot of creative people are left brained. You know, we don't talk about that with the like right versus left, but a lot of it has to do with like right versus left sides of the brain, which is more dominant in people. Like, you know, I think that has a lot to do. I don't think people like really put that together. You know, the industries and type of people, like creative types, are often drawn to left wing. And I think maybe that's just because there is, I don't know, creative people kind of have a harder time figuring out where they fit in the world. I think maybe. I think that's part of it because it's not always so cut and clear, like what your path's going to be when you're left brained. But it's not just that. It's just, you know, there's just interesting ways in which cultures, you know, divided. And you know, I don't want to discount a lot of like music that's also political in other ways. It just, I've noticed a lot of it very dominantly is pushing like more of a left or liberal agenda sometimes. Not always the same thing, but like with, I brought up Depeche Mode, like for example, very clear left wing politics. And even like Heaven 17, I was listening to the other day. I love the album. Like, what is it? Oh, I can't remember. I'm thinking of the other two albums. I can remember the other two albums' names, like Penthouse and Pavement. It's not that one. And it's not How Men Are. Oh God, what is the album? Oh, The Luxury Gap. The Luxury Gap. Even the title, The Luxury Gap, is very left wing. And then that whole album is full of like very preachy left wing stuff. Like it's very cutting, but it's also, they have this kind of like style as a band, which I really admire, which is like very professional. So they look, they dressed in suits and they looked very like, they went for that kind of like businessman aesthetic while making this very like left wing music. I just love that. I like there's such a little play with their image and their music. um anyway, well, yeah, it can get really preachy. I don't know. I'm also thinking of like there was oh, what is it? Oh, that Ben Shapiro song. Like I think the guy Tom McDonald featuring Ben Shapiro, right? That was like one thing that came out in the past year that they got a lot of traction with that song. I think it went to one on like it went to one on different platforms. I think iTunes is it, or I don't know, but like it made a big splash. So it's interesting when things are political sometimes because it's how it's perceived and the kind of statements it makes. There's been like some songs that have been really controversial in the past few years. I can't really get into them though. Like I just know about them, but I haven't really explored them myself just because I don't know, my interest wasn't that great, but it's coming up to me now like um thinking about these songs. That make such a splash and like offend people so much. Hmm. But like there comes a point with it could get preachy and irritating because I have found that when I'm like listening to this stuff sometimes now, and I think maybe it's just because I'm so like over it personally that it like bothers me, and where I'm kind of like, oh, this is so preachy and like left wing. And then sometimes, I can escape that and just kind of appreciate the fun of it. But I don't like getting preached at all the time. And a lot of people are very preachy about their politics. And it just, yeah, some of that stuff can get very like, okay, I get it. What I hope though is when people kind of make their messages or express their politics in their music, that they, actually try to make the music interesting or good and, not try to be preachy or, just full of rhetoric, but try to express something. Like I'm thinking of, there's that really beautiful song by, um, oh, what's his name? I can't remember people's names sometimes now. It's kind of hard. I used to be like, on it with all the artists, and now I'm kind of like blanking people left and right. Ugh, Billy Bragg. Billy Bragg Between the Wars. Okay. Like that song is beautiful. It's so, you feel kind of stirred by it. And there's like other left wing songs like that kind of make you feel like emotionally pulled. And like that, I would never like look at that song and think, this is too preachy. But then some of his other work, like, is like some of his other songs did not need to be written. You know what I mean? Anyway, but like that, sometimes it comes out and it's beautiful. And then sometimes it's like, oh, you're just kind of inundating me with your beliefs. But I guess everyone does that, and beliefs don't always have to be political, do they? Maybe something to think about in the music we listen to even more. Uh, what is this? I've noticed the older I get, the more conspiracy brain I get. Is that normal? 25. I don't know. 25 is a weird age. 25 is a strange age, okay? I'll just say that about being 25. I don't envy the 25 at all. That is a turning point in most people's lives. So, I would say, though, don't get conspiracy brained. Don't get lost in the sauce. Don't like resist that urge to get pulled into that stuff because I definitely got that way. It's normal, but it's not good for you. All right. There's a real world you need to be engaging with, not a world in your mind of imagination and like terror. A lot of that stuff is just there to terrorize you. A lot of it is there to frighten you, to make you feel powerless, to make you see enemies where there are none. Like it's very deceptive. And it can be fun to kind of know about these things and kind of reckon with them, but like don't get lost up in it, don't get obsessed with it. All right, don't let it get that compelling for you because it's really not good to know too much about that stuff. um like just I would say take a very superficial look at the different conspiracies, but don't get too into them. All right, like it's not a good idea. Like it's fun. I won't say like I don't know or haven't explored certain like fascinating conspiracies. Like some of them are just compelling, and I love to know what people's favorite conspiracies are. If you want to drop that, like what's your favorite conspiracy in the chat? I'd love to see maybe you know something I don't know, and then I can learn more about it. Or I think for me, for it's hard to say for me. It's probably one of two. Yeah, Mandela effect. That was one of the two I was going to say. I think Mandela effect just because for me it's personal. I've had different kind of experiences with it. It's, one that's been kind of messed with me a little bit, kind of. But then I thought it was a good thing as well. Like it messed with me in a good way. Like I love the Mandela effect, and I love to like just hear from people. I do follow certain like Mandela effect pages online, or like different communities. I think I'm in a community on Facebook. I'm not sure if it's a page or it's a community, but yeah, there's a Mandela effect, and people share their Mandela effect stories, and if they have a new one. And then a lot of times we get really funny trolls that are like just posting stuff, and you're like, that's not a Mandela effect. I remember Billy Graham dying when I was a kid, but apparently he died in like 2012 or something. Well, he died in 2018. Dang. This is insane. Who is this? What on earth? A pleasant woman to see in a world of uncertainties. Your eyes are filled with the definitions of bloom and whimsical. So warm and inviting. Thank you, Rose. Oh my goodness. Thanks, Terry. That is true. And just to let you know, I'm critical about everything. Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm open to different interpretations of what the Mandela effect is. So I'm not like, this is the thing about conspiracy. I think it's interesting to look into, but I don't really ever try to solve the conspiracy. I think that's where you go wrong trying to diagnose what the thing is with some of these. Um, yeah, so I we talked about the Mandela effect, and then the other one that kind of drew me in for a while was the flat Earth theory. That one is very just it had me, it had me really thinking and pausing for a minute and kind of questioning reality in certain ways. But I came to the conclusion that I don't really have any idea. I don't really, it's not that I don't have an idea. I think it's probably a globe that we live on. I'm not like certain about it though, and nor do I think it matters. Like, because really, what does it matter? Does it matter to you in your day to day life? Because this is how I just interpret any of these things. In my day to day life, is this information really relevant to me? Yes or no? And so for me with the flat earth, I was just like, it could be flat. I don't know for sure the shape of it, nor do I really care. But people are like really into it and they're like, they're out to make something of it. Maybe they just, I don't know. The thing I like about it that I guess is that it teaches people to question things, even to the point of like the flat earth being ridiculed. You remember growing up, people would say like, the one of the stupidest things you could think is that the earth is flat. And so for people to get like so into this and to question the official narrative so much and authority so much that they like will go there and say, I believe the earth is flat, like it is in and of itself very compelling because it's like, whoa, are you the greatest fool that ever lived? Or are you like the greatest revealer of truth? What's going on here? Like they're compelling. Michael says that I am gorgeous. Thank you. Or I'm Georgeous. Georgeous. Thank you. You can get it. Are we blushing? Always a little bit. Sounds like a Pink Floyd song. How nice. And this is a laughing emoji and music. We were talking about music. So we talked about like left-wing music and beyond political music. And now we've talked about our conspiracy theories that we're into. Although not everyone participated. Anybody else want to drop a favorite? So we talked about Mandela effect and flat earth theory. I don't know. I definitely believe in like the Kennedy assassination. I definitely think something's going on there. I think there's something maybe there that we don't know. Just a hunch. Moon landing, that's one. I don't know. That's a very popular one. Was it real or was it faked? And was it faked by Stanley Kubrick, who left clues through all his movies about how he had faked the moon landing? Oh, girl. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Yes. Crisis actors. Yes. Yes. What do you believe? Because I believe. I definitely believe. And you know what? They went after them going after Alex Jones the way they did. Oh my God. Like, there's something going on. There's something going on with these stories. Because it's like there's tragedies that happen all over the place. Like, how many shootings happen, or why do these certain ones, I mean, like, get so much attention? I think it's because they're obviously very emotionally charged when it involves children. Obviously, that's the kind of thing that people just, gets them all in their feelings. And I'm not saying that's wrong, but it's reality. So people get all in their feelings, and so they start to become irrational. And, it's all about taking the guns away. It's really, they just, want people to, not be, for one, like, aware of how to use weaponry, which, may or may not be a good thing, but it's also like they want to disarm the population to a certain degree, and disarm certain parts of the population as well. So it's just, it's, to me, it's about like creating more chaos and, like, a less just society overall. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I know. There's some, yeah. But then again, these are also clips and they could also be fake, you know? I'm just thinking like that. Like, I mean, how long has this technology of AI been around before we've been allowed to play with it? I wonder that sometimes. Like, what's been released to us has probably been around much longer. Ways of manipulating people's images. And, even voices. I saw something on the news recently where, like, a guy had used an AI. Oh God, it was like a racial thing too. Okay, so it was like a black guy who got fired, had who worked at a school. I don't remember what his position was exactly, and I don't remember the exact position of the guy that he had made this edited audio thing of, where he's trying to, like, he manipulated the audio to make it sound like this guy was racist and anti-Semitic, basically, because of certain things that were being said on it. And it was just like, um, it was fake. But yeah, so, like, I'm just thinking there's all of these ways in which, our voices, our images can get manipulated. So I do wonder sometimes, like, have these things been created on top of, that, like, could they possibly take this person's image and superimpose it on another one, with believability, at that time, like, that technology may have been available and we just may not have had it because, like, I don't know. I think it also attracts people to the internet. One of the things that attracts people to the internet is information, right? Number one, information technology. So if they can put disinformation on the internet as well, like, regardless, it's something that sucks people in and makes them feel like an individual, is like having their own thoughts and beliefs. And I think some of this stuff, like the conspiracy communities and different, like, online communities where people go to seek information and understanding, like, I think it kind of I mean, it's a big draw to people. It's a way that they get to express their individuality in a world that, kind of stifles that. There's many reasons why we're here, right, on the internet instead of doing something else right now, you know. Okay, original King Alpha is coming out as a globalist, or not a globalist, a globe earthist, a globe believer. I think when I was trolling my friend, I called them globe cucks, or I think, yeah, there's other nasty words that people can use. Oh yeah, okay, 9/11 being an inside job. Okay, what do you all think? Did Bush knock down the towers? Was it Oh God, who did that song? Is it Most Def? Like did the like Bush knock down the towers? Oh, speaking of political music. Okay, yeah, that I have no like 9/11 was crazy. What was that? Why did we go through that? That was so like awful. And how did it happen? And you know, like, was it the planes? I mean, at the end of the day, isn't everything an inside job? You know, doesn't everything come back to that, the inside? I think there were a lot of forces at play in our country at the time which facilitated that happening, whether directly or indirectly. Um, and then there's also the layers of it where, you know, the Tower 7 footage, you know, like that they demolished that building, you know. Um, it's really bizarre, you know, when you kind of like think about it and kind of, you know, come out of it. And you know, living through it as a young person too, and the way it impacted the nation and the wars that came out of it, you know, it raises your suspicions. And we know from history that disasters are used to facilitate, you know, the start of wars. So, for the war hungry, there's like, you know, for those who seek to commit war on other nations, um, there's clearly like an incentive for these things to happen. So, I mean, you just have to like really kind of sit with that and ponder like, okay, well, how much of an inside job was it? How much do we need to know? And like, how much do we need to know just generally? Like, I always try to like pull it back, like, okay, what's going on in the details doesn't really matter as much as the big picture of the world at large and how things go down. Hmm. All right, King Alpha is with me on that. Indeed, yeah, yeah. So I wonder about like some of this stuff. Like, is some of this conspiracy and like these clips also just generated to, you know, just disinform and make people mistrustful? Like, you know, people who are mistrustful of systems don't participate in those systems. So it leads to a breakdown of society. If you believe that everything is corrupt and evil, how likely are you to participate, in that system if that's your mentality? Oh, why don't we get the good stuff? Interesting. Dang. Hmm. Allow them to feed, you're allowing them to starve you. Oh my goodness. The rabbit isn't the only one with a hole. Snakes have holes too. Dang. Yes. No, I haven't listened to this. The JFK speech at JFK game before he died, where he's talking about secret societies. Don't look it up if you want to be okay. How are my nails doing? They're pretty good so far, actually. Yeah, my nails just didn't, they're not as nice as they could have been this week. Did it? Oh, oh my goodness. Oh, dear. I'm using subliminal messages as they do. That's their language. Indeed, indeed. That's how the snake gets in. So let's look this up. I'm wondering what I found. I'm not sure here. So there's the first thing that comes up is his final address to the United Nations General Assembly. Um, I'm not sure if that's what it is. I just looked up JFK secret societies. I don't know if it's a specific speech. If I'm looking it up, it's a long speech. Well, how long is long? Is 17 or is 18 minutes long? Mm, okay. Well, anyway, I find I'm not as interested as I was a moment ago. To be fair. So, yeah, I think I need to take a brief intermission. So, I'm going to, I'll put up the speech. Why don't I put up the speech, take my little intermission, and come back? I'll put on the 18-minute speech. We'll see what we think about it. If anybody stays, okay. If I get a copyright strike, hopefully I won't.
Mr. President, as one who has taken some interest in the election of presidents, I want to congratulate you on your election to this high office. Mr. Secretary General, delegates to the United Nations, ladies and gentlemen, we meet again in the quest for peace. 24 months ago, when I last had the honor of addressing this body, the shadow of fear lay darkly across the world. The freedom of West Berlin was in immediate peril. Agreement on a neutral Laos seemed remote. The mandate of the United Nations in the Congo was under fire. Hold back the darkness. Today, the clouds have lifted a little so that new rays of hope can break through. The pressures on West Berlin appear to be temporarily eased. Political unity in the Congo has been largely restored. A neutral coalition in Laos, while still in difficulty, is at least in being. The integrity of the United Nations Secretariat has been reaffirmed. A United Nations decade of development is underway. And for the first time in 17 years of effort, a specific step has been taken to limit the nuclear arms race. I refer, of course, to the treaty to ban nuclear tests in the atmosphere, outer space, and underwater, concluded by the Soviet Union, the United Kingdom, and the United States, and already signed by nearly 100 countries. It has been hailed by people the world over who are thankful to be free from the fears of nuclear fallout. And I am confident that on next Tuesday at 10:30 o'clock in the morning, it will receive the overwhelming endorsement of the Senate of the United States. The world has not escaped from the darkness. The long shadows of conflict and crisis envelop us still. But we meet today in an atmosphere of rising hope and at a moment of comparative calm. My presence here today is not a sign of crisis, but of confidence. I am not here to report on a new threat to the peace or new signs of war. I have come to salute the United Nations and to show the support of the American people for your daily deliberations. For the value of this body's weapon, the reduction of global tension must not be an excuse for the narrow pursuit of self-interest. If the Soviet Union and the United States, with all of their global interests and clashing commitments of ideology, and with nuclear weapons still aimed at each other today, can find areas of common interest and agreement, then surely other nations can do the same. Nations caught in regional conflicts, in racial issues, or in the death throes of old colonialism. Chronic disputes which divert precious resources from the needs of the people or drain the energies of both sides serve the interests of no one. And the badge of responsibility in the modern world is a willingness to seek peaceful solutions. It is never too early to try, and it's never too late to talk. And the United States, as a major nuclear power, does have a special responsibility to the world. It is, in fact, a threefold responsibility. A responsibility to our own citizens, a responsibility to the people of the whole world who are affected by our decisions, and to the next generation of humanity. We believe the Soviet Union also has these special responsibilities, and that those responsibilities require our two nations to concentrate less on our differences and more on the means of resolving them peacefully. For too long, both of us have increased our military budgets, our nuclear stockpiles, and our capacity to destroy all life on this hemisphere, human, animal, vegetable, without any corresponding increase in our security. Our conflicts, to be sure, are real. Our concepts of the world are different. No service is performed by failing to make clear our disagreements. A central difference is the belief of the American people in self-determination for all people. We believe that the people of Germany and Berlin must be free to reunite their capital and their country. We believe that the people of Cuba must be free to secure the fruits of the revolution that have been betrayed from within and exploited from without. Protection of freedom. And our determination to safeguard that freedom will measure up to any threat or challenge. But I would say to the leaders of the Soviet Union and to their people that if either of our countries is to be fully secure, we need a much better weapon than the H-bomb, a weapon better than ballistic missiles or nuclear submarines, and that better weapon is peaceful cooperation. We have in recent years agreed on a limited test ban treaty, on an emergency communications link between our capitals, on a statement of principles for disarmament, on an increase in cultural exchange, on cooperation in outer space, on the peaceful exploration of the Antarctic, and on tempering last year's crisis over Cuba. I believe, therefore, that the Soviet Union and the United States, together with their allies, can achieve further agreements, agreements which spring from our mutual interest in avoiding mutual destruction. There can be no doubt about the agenda of further steps. We must continue to seek agreements on measures which prevent war by accident or miscalculation. We must continue to seek agreement on safeguards against surprise attack, including observation posts at key points. We must continue to seek agreement on further measures to curb the nuclear arms race by controlling the transfer of nuclear weapons, converting fissionable materials to peaceful purposes, and banning underground testing with adequate inspection and enforcement. We must continue to seek agreement on a freer flow of information and people from east to west and west to east. We must continue to seek agreement, encouraged by yesterday's affirmative response to this proposal by the Soviet foreign minister on an arrangement to keep weapons of mass destruction out of outer space. Let us get our negotiators back to the negotiating table to work out a practicable arrangement to this end purposes. Finally, in a field where the United States and the Soviet Union have a special capacity, in the field of space, there is room for new cooperation, for further joint efforts in the regulation and exploration of space. I include among these possibilities a joint expedition to the moon. Space offers no problems of sovereignty By resolution of this assembly, the members of the United Nations have forsworn any claim to territorial rights in outer space or on celestial bodies, and declared that international law and the United Nations Charter will apply. Why, therefore, should man's first flight to the moon be a matter of national competition? Why should the United States and the Soviet Union, in preparing for such expeditions, become involved in immense duplications of research, construction, and expenditure? Surely we should explore whether the scientists and astronauts of our two countries, and that freedom is more enduring than coercion. And in the contest for a better life, all the world can be a winner. The effort to improve the conditions of man, however, is not a task for the few. It is the task of all nations, acting alone, acting in groups, acting in the United Nations. For plague and pestilence and plunder and pollution, the hazards of nature and the hunger of children are the foes of every nation. Has man had such capacity to control his own environment, to end thirst and hunger, to conquer poverty and disease, to banish illiteracy and massive human misery? We have the power to make this the best generation of mankind in the history of the world, or to make it the last. The provision of development assistance by individual nations must go on, but the United Nations also must play a larger role in helping bring to all men the fruits of modern science and industry. A United Nations conference on this subject, held earlier this year at Geneva, opened new vistas for the developing countries. Next year, a United Nations conference on trade will consider the needs of these nations for new markets. And more than 4/5 of the entire United Nations system can be found today mobilizing the weapons of science and technology for the United Nations decade of development. But more can be done. A World Center for Health Communications under the World Health Organization could warn of epidemics and the adverse effects of certain drugs, as well as transmit the results of new experiments and new discoveries. Regional research centers could advance our common medical knowledge and train new scientists and doctors for new nations. A global system of satellites could provide communication and weather information for all corners of the earth. A worldwide program of conservation could protect the forest and wild game preserves now in danger of extinction for all time, improve the marine harvest of food from our oceans, and prevent the contamination of air and water by industrial as well as nuclear pollution. And finally, a worldwide program of farm productivity and food distribution, similar to our country's Food for People.
Okay, hi. I was taking a brief intermission. I don't think this is what we were looking for at all. Interesting comments while I was away. I'll address them shortly, but yeah, interesting, isn't it? What I'm most struck while listening to Kennedy, and I'm going to stop the speech because I'm done. But one thing that I really appreciate about it is his voice is actually interesting to listen to. You know, it's actually persuasive and communicative. I find that we don't get a lot of that anymore because his voice has been perfected. I feel like I need to do more of that, honestly, because I do find that there are ways in my speech that I could be better. I'm not sure exactly how to perfect these things exactly. I guess I could look for someone. Maybe I could look for a tutor or like someone, a coach or a tutor, to help me with my diction. I want one of those radio voices, Like it's not enough that I have like this face. I need a voice for radio too. I need like the whole thing. Okay, so yeah, let me take this off. Interesting. Thanks, Kennedy. Thanks for all you did. Interesting comments about Kennedy in the chat. So let's see. From original King Alpha, JFK was dancing with the devil's advocates. Once he was inside, he wanted out, but nope, he knew too much and didn't want to play the game any longer. Straight up gangster rules. Indeed. And I think this is what's appealing about like, gangster movies and culture and such. I mean, things at the bottom are the same as things at the top, and the same rules apply. The rules of power are the same anywhere you go. So definitely interesting comments about Kennedy here. Marilyn Monroe was a plant. The devil knows what you like. Rest in peace, Marilyn Monroe. Poor baby. Oh my God. What a sad girl. Like, they weakened him further by giving him what he wanted. His weakness was women. I know. And this is why, to be a real man, you have to overcome the weakness that, women put in you or create in you. These people are Masons, don't have sympathy for the opposing team. They pledged an oath, and God doesn't approve oaths. Period. As Malcolm X stated, the chickens came home to roost. Indeed. And that's, bringing up like 9/11, that was kind of like how I perceived it at the time, So when they say 9/11 was an inside job, that's kind of, from so many different angles, it was an inside job. So that statement is a lot deeper than I think people realize. It wasn't just a chain of events the day of, or planning and, coming up to the day of. It was, beyond that. Alas. Okay. Goodbye, Beard Beatnik. I'm sure you're already gone, but take care. And welcome, Dystopian Deep Dives. We've been talking about conspiracy. She was sleeping with two brothers. I knew a girl who did that once. I worked with her. She was married to one, and then it was not good. It was not good. I saw some things in my day. I've seen people do things. But you know what? She was another really fragile woman. Like, that was the thing about her. Like, she was cool and like together in a lot of ways, but she had this one part of herself that was just so weak and so like desperate, I would say, that she got into that situation. I don't know what it was in her spirit or soul, but like, I don't know, but she was also very, she was very sweet to me. She had a very sweet nature, and she often was like made a scapegoat. I found she was someone I worked with years ago. Like she was often scapegoated because she was young and pretty and got a lot of attention, and you know it. And she did. She had weird behavior from some of the men actually at work. Now that I think about it, like she dealt with it a lot from men, like constantly. And I don't know what she was doing exactly to encourage it in some way, but like I don't know. I don't know. Hopefully she figured it out eventually, but yeah, she with that situation, she's telling me that I was like trying not to judge her in the moment, but like internally like, oh my god. Oh wow, you knew a suicide girl? Oh my god, the suicide girls. Yeah. The suicide girls, yeah, were something else. I remember I did see some like at first I didn't realize it was like a porn thing. So I happened to come across some material that was a bit shocking. Like from what I'd seen advertised, it sounded kind of like, oh, cool, alternative, like, and then I looked a little deeper. I was like, no, no. Anyway, moving on. But yeah, I don't know. That kind of thing kind of bothered me because there's always like that I don't know, pornification, that thing that different, women go through. And it was just like, okay, let's make, heavily tatted Alterna girls like this thing, I don't know. It was kind of like, hmm, or like, I don't know, the whole Alterna girl thing. Yeah. Yeah, and those girls are fragile. Like there's so many like fragile like women who are like desperate out there, and behaving in ways that they don't need to, you know. I mean, I love attention. I love attention too. I love attention, but like but I try to be obvious about it. I'm like, hey, give me some attention. uh luckily I can attract attention with my theatrical appearance. So, you know, I got that going for me. Okay, wait, hold up. Where was I? There was something you said. Can you imagine how JFK's wife, Jacqueline Kennedy, felt when she knew what was going on? Plus, Marilyn had the audacity to sing the happy birthday song to Mr. President. Marilyn had to do what she was told, but look at what happened. Yeah, it's tragic. It's a super tragic. It like I have to think about that. Like think about her position too. Like even if ethically, like you don't want to be in that circumstance, I'm sure she was put in that circumstance and she felt like she didn't really have much choice. Like what are you gonna do? Oh my god, I'm gonna cry. That's so sad. Oh, poor Marilyn. Ugh, baby girl. Why? she's so like, you watch films with her and she's just so lovable, so infinitely lovable. And I wonder, like, did she ever feel that way in her life? You know? Which is why it's so important to be a fan, you know? I think for some people, like in the world, their fans are the only people who really care about them. So don't ever discount the importance of being a fan. But yeah, it's such a like just she's so cute and so sweet and so like funny, and I don't know, like like all the films I've seen her in, and I haven't seen all of her films, but the ones I've seen, I'm just like blown away by her. Yeah, I know. What a pig! What a pig! Hugh Hefner, what a gross man. God, I can't believe like how popular he is. Like even, okay, neither by heaven, neither by earth, neither by any other oath, but let your yea be yea and your nay, nay, lest ye fall into condemnation. It's in the word. Oh my God. Yes, Nicki Minaj needs a lot of attention. And she's infinitely lovable as well. Like, really. I mean, could anyone search their heart and be like, I hate her? Like, no. Everyone that looks at her is just like, but still, it's like she has like this, yeah, she has this captivation over the public, but like all the people that she has to deal with. Disney is lovable too, isn't it? Disney is a hot mess, like from top to bottom, from left to right, from future to past. Like, what's going on with Disney? My dad was really critical of Disney growing up, and I see why. Like, I totally see why. He was very critical. He often did not want me to see certain Disney films. Like, and for a reason. I mean, they leave out some of the most important pieces of fairy tales, for one. Neither shall you swear by your head, because you cannot make one hair on your head white or black. I remember a guy calling into Jesse Lee Peterson. Now, I remember this guy calling in and explaining that he knew he was a good Christian because he wouldn't like put his hand on the Bible and swear in court. And he was like causing himself all these like unnecessary dramas in his life because he just had to be right. So I wonder about that, like, I wonder about that guy with this story because he was like all up in it. Like that Bible thumper work that they do is incredible because it's amazing how people get caught up on stuff like this and take it so seriously to the point of making themselves worse off. I don't know, like Protect your neck. I don't get these people. I do not get these people who will deliberately make it so they have to serve extra time in prison or jail. So to prove something about making oaths or swearing on the Bible, like okay, dude, nobody is impressed. Like, nobody's like, yeah, okay. Because you do also need to like abide by the rules of the society you're in. Real fact about Walt Disney, he was the only man working for the studio allowed to have a mustache. He saw himself as a paternal figure to the animators that worked under him. Weird. Really? Men get so excited when their beards come in. They're so excited to grow their little beards and mustaches. But to not allow other men the privilege of it, that's so interesting. Like they all had to be clean shaven. Wow. Not that there's anything wrong with that. Who doesn't like that? Look, I get it, but I'm also like, oh, control freak. What a control freak. Oh dear, I left my pen uncapped. I hope I did not dry out my ink. Oh dear. Oh dear. Why have I done this to myself? Okay, it's okay. It's running clear. Yeah, I know. Yeah, exactly. Like Bumblebot. Hello, Bumblebot. Thank you. My hair is nice today. I just clipped some of it up. It's nothing. This whole thing, this whole hairdo. I love my hair though. I do. I can't believe I went so many years having short hair when I could have been having all this hair. But then again, like the lifestyle I was living, it was better to have short hair because I don't know, dealing with it, I think, and having to be like physically active, it would be a lot harder, definitely, to like deal with and keeping it up and out of the way. And like my hair's kind of wild anyway. And then it would have, suffered from being like tied up all the time, that does weaken the hair if it's not allowed to just be kind of free. Girl, yes, for real. They're flexing with their mustaches. It's like, okay. All right then. Hanna-Barbera, okay. That's an interesting point. Yeah, those were some decent cartoons, weren't they? They did have some degenerate cartoons. You don't have ink. An octopus has ink. You've a pen. Well, okay, dang. Whatever material exists within this pen is what I was referring to. The product on the actual page. I thought they called it ink, but maybe I'm incorrect about that. Maybe it's another product. And if you could enlighten me, I would appreciate that. I just hate to be wrong, and I would just hate to be wrong in the future. If it can be prevented. Flapjack Batter, how you doing? Love that name. I've missed you. Yeah, I know. Now idiot hipsters have them. Ugh, I know. It's so sad. But I'm a bit of an idiot hipster, so I can't knock them too much for what they do. I have my ways about me as well that are extra. It is what it is. Yes, you doing all right. Okay, good. It's nice to see you. Yeah. I thought it'd be good to go live this morning. I felt like I could get a different crowd in. I don't know. Plus, I wasn't really ready to start about my tasks. I have to clean, tidy up. Ugh, I don't like doing it. I don't want to do it, but it needs to get done. But I'm going to put it off for a while. Kind of get myself going first. I needed some time to just kind of be about me, I suppose. Be a little creative, focus, before I kind of do anything else. It's really important. If I don't get that, I feel like so bad doing anything. It compounds everything. It makes it all worse if I haven't given the time to myself first to give myself whatever it is I'm needing. Ugh. I'm going to put on some more lotion, I think. There it is. I'm magical? Oh, that's nice. I do be magical. A little bit. Hopefully in the right ways now, not so much the wrong ways. Oh, let's see. Hello, Frederick LA. All is well. How are you? Just sitting here indulging in my little time of chat and art and femininity. Did my nails a little bit, finished them up, put a top coat on them, which I'm liking. Was the right decision. You like my hair today? Thank you. Yeah, I like putting it up like this. It is pretty, it's pretty. I have to say, it's wow. The way it kind of falls. I just kind of see how it falls and what I like as it falls. I mean, I like I was talking about earlier, I like my hair. I'm so glad that I'm in a position now where I can really have hair and take care of hair. As I was thinking, in the past, how I was living and working and how hard it would have been for me to really deal with having hair and all of that goes into it, maintaining a mane. And there's a certain wildness about it. I don't know that I feel a lot more in touch with my nature, I guess. I remember reading about I don't know, is it Brill? The occultists of Brill, and they're kind of influential in the not to the Nazis actually. I remember reading about them, but the female psychics that they had, they grew their hair very long in order to I guess it helped them pick up the psychic energy. And I guess there's some sort of, I've heard this as well with like other like races of people talking about the power that's in the hair. Um, you know, there's a power in the hair, and you know, if you want to like kind of um, hurt someone, you would like cut their hair. Or and it was also part of like colonization of the indigenous Americans, and the school systems that were set up is that they would cut the kids' hair. They'd like cut their braids off or whatever long hair they had, since they were used to wearing their hair long. But if you think about it, like if you're living in a different way with nature, then you're going to, you know, necessarily want to pick up those different energies from it. So it's just kind of interesting hearing about their long hair and how critical it was to their psychic powers. I don't know. I was like thinking, like, is there something to this, an animal like magnetism or power we have in our hair? And you know, didn't Delilah cut Samson's hair as well? Like his power was in his hair, and she cut his hair to weaken him. Okay. I have a question. What is my take on interracial relationships? I mean, it's nuanced. I think some people get into them for the right reasons, and some people get into them for the wrong reasons. And I think one should just kind of be conscious of that. Like, when I bet like some people who only date outside of their race, you know, if they're only dating one type of race and you happen to be in that race, that's a red flag to me. Um, when it's like that, I do think there might be a problem. Unless, I mean, if the circumstance is such that a person happens to be a minority in an environment where almost everyone is like not the same background as them, I understand it more. But like, you know, when it's like, I think some people fetishize race is what I'm trying to say. Like some people deliberately go after people of certain races, usually because of an attachment to an original love figure that is no longer around. So I think you need to be conscious getting involved with someone if they have a type and it's racial and it happens to be like an interracial kind of relationship. That's just a red flag to me. But I don't think there's anything wrong at all with interracial relationships. I think they're very beautiful. I think it's amazing when like two cultures can come together in love and create something new. Like I really think that's awesome. And I think that like sometimes we're conditioned to look at the world and expect that it's going to provide to us something like the perfect partner, somebody compatible with us, and we expect it to come in one package. Like, I want someone from this particular background, and like if we're not open to see the people in front of us, we may miss something, and something that's going to actually work better for us. So like I think if maybe you always thought you would end up with somebody of the same race, and you meet somebody who is not the same race, but they're compatible with you in every other way, and they're going to offer you everything that you really want, like everything that you're really seeking for and looking for in like a partner, in your life, like somebody who's going to meet you and create like a new, better world, together with you. Like if that's in a different race, why does anybody judge it? Like, it's a good thing. But the problem is a lot of people are not getting into these relationships for the right reason, whether they're interracial or not. So I think, just be really aware of what you want and what your intentions are going into relationships. And also look at what they're, wanting out of the relationship. And, I think don't be foolish about it. Don't go into it unconsciously. There are probably things that are going to come up that you're going to have to deal with that, aren't so pleasant. That's right. That is right. Thank you. I look 70s. Thank you. 70s. A cool 70s gal, liberated, feminine, wild, creative. That's why bald men spend so much money for it. That's so true. Oh, man. Oh, wow. Good to know. A quick background check can do it faster. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've had that or if I hear a man doesn't like women from his own background, that is also to me a red flag. I've had that come up a couple of times where you're just getting to meet someone and then they start immediately talking about like how they don't like women from their own background, but they're interested in you. That to me is like, what's wrong with you? Like, I just, that kind of thing to me is like off-putting. It's off-putting. Yeah. It's like, and if I'm going to enter, like, I just wonder, like, does this person have a problem with their family? Like, how close is this person to their community? Like, you want to get involved with someone, a man especially, like, what are his relationships like with his family, with his community, especially like if he is from like a different background. Like I remember when I was younger, much younger, a man at my workplace expressed interest in me, and he was Samoan. And another woman came up and kind of was talking to me about him and telling me that he was interested in me. And, then she started telling me like that he doesn't like or date women of his own background. And then I just immediately was like, not interested. I don't know. I just had a bad feeling. I was like, why did he communicate this to her? And why did he think it would interest me? Yeah, like that's not interesting to me. Like, why I'm being told that, I don't know. It just put me off. So anyway, I hope he's well. I hope he found his nice, white lady. Would I date outside of my ethnic group, and have I? I have dated outside of my ethnic group. Yes. And I would again, yeah. It doesn't matter. Don't dox yourself for the weak white men. Well, I mean, that's so immature. I don't want to be with somebody that's stupid and immature. I don't care. Like, honestly, if that's your attitude, if you're that racist, like, I don't want anything to do with you. Like, don't come at me with your insecurity. And like, I didn't say what race I dated. You don't know. And like, like you haven't too. How many of those like guys that are like that with those mentalities end up, with a woman of a different background? Like, how often is that? Okay. Like, how often are those the guys that go to, like, another nation trying to find a submissive brown woman? Like, come on. Come on. They can't do it to their own women, so they have to find another woman to do it to, who's like, figured out how she's going to use him best as well. Like, indeed. I know, I know, I know. They love that. Like, they have no idea what they're getting into either. Like, like, you know, wow, you can order them now? You can order white women now? That's crazy. Let's see. I grew up in a household and my mother was literally a model for magazines. Oh, catalogs and seasonal promotions for holiday advertisements. And she had lots of friends from different races. I mean, yeah. I know. I guess, I don't know. I don't have that kind of like, I'm not comfortable. Like, not that I don't, I just, yeah, I don't see why you wouldn't. It's normal. Like, you should, I don't know. I don't get the kind of, they will unsubscribe because a lot of them think race mixing is bad. God. Oh well. Oh well. I have all kinds of opinions that people may not like. Oh well. You don't have to be here or deal with me. Yes, I know. hmm And notice that I didn't ask. Hi, Arrow One. I'm all right. I'm all right. It's raining today and I'm feeling it in my bones a little bit. So I'm having a nice, indulgent morning of streaming and doing my nails and putting on lotion and rubbing my joints that hurt, all that stuff, just taking care of me. I did my makeup too. I went like, it was a rough week here in my home. I went a couple days where there were 2 days this week where I wore my jammies all day. Not pajamas, obviously. I wear a nightgown. We'll just want to be clear about what kind of woman I am. I am not a jammies girl, you know. I but so I was wearing that with like my robe and my slippers, you know. And then there were a couple of days where I didn't do any makeup. Like I did not. I just didn't have it this week. I'm kind of burnt out. And I communicated that to my boss. I think he's aware that I'm kind of like struggling right now. Oh, I don't want to complain. Catching up with Terry. I didn't want it to be like this, but I had a rough week. The point is, I had a rough week. I didn't have much energy. And yeah, the rain's kind of getting into me as well. I did try, though, to prioritize rest. I did get a lot of rest this week. Like, there were a couple nights where I went to bed early, and I let myself sleep in. I think yesterday I didn't get out of bed until 7:15, which was pushing it pretty far. But Fred, is that your drone outside Terry's window? Oh dear. Oh dear. Don't make such jokes. I did enjoy your drone footage, though, of LA and the UCLA protests. It was quite an interesting perspective. seeing that. Um, yeah, I've been catching up with like the news reporting about the um, occupation of the local university. I didn't get a chance to go over there like to see anything because like again I don't didn't feel very well anyway this week, just to be real. So I yeah, didn't make anything like that happen. So yeah, I caught up with the news. I didn't realize that there'd been some like property destruction, that they went after the Starbucks again. They went after two locations, and then one of the banks downtown got its windows smashed. I don't know about any other businesses. They didn't report it on the news. And I was going to go out today and see, like what the damage was in the kind of area. They said that there had been vandalism, but it's raining, so that's not going to happen. Unless the rain clears, it might get sunny later on. I don't know. We've been having mixed days, and I keep missing the sun just because, like, by the time it comes out, I'm usually kind of, done. Today, the Kentucky Derby is today. Pick two numbers, Terry. Okay, I pick 3 and 5. Do I enjoy planting flowers, fruit vines, foliage, and shrubberies? Is feeling your hands in the earth, touching the soil, and finding it enjoyable? No, I don't do this. I don't have any really room for it. I had dreamed when I moved into this place that I would have this amazing balcony space. But I find that I don't use it at all. It's usually just too nasty to even bother with. Like, I thought I would be on my balcony. Um, I thought I would be on it all the time when I moved in here, and I just never am. I just am sad about it. And like the cat as well, I thought he would enjoy it, but he ended up, not being able to be trusted with the privilege of having the balcony. So it's just, yeah, it's been kind of this luxury I don't use. And I think if I move again, I will not be looking for a balcony. Like that's going to be kind of like something I don't want at all, honestly. I don't know. Maybe if it were a bit, having some outdoor space is nice. It really is nice, but yeah, it's just not what it could be. And we have like in my building, we have a really nice patio area, like with plants and barbecue, and like there's sunbeds to tan in, and like, but again, most of the year it's cold here, so we don't really get to use this a lot. Hmm. You're gonna bet that exactly. Oh Lord, no, don't blame me. Okay. How did I manage to clear entities from my home? I don't know that I ever cleared entities from my home. They come and go. Um, but I think like the thing was figuring out how to get them to like not have the power over you. Um, and understanding that certain ones just can't be respected. You can't have like a, working relationship with some of them. Some of them are just too much to deal with. So, I don't know. I don't really know how to say exactly. It's a learning process. You kind of have to figure out how you're gonna like establish your space energetically and how big you're gonna make it, as the being in your place. And it may be that they are, so entrenched that you may never like really have that, and you have to figure out like what. I didn't really like. The thing is, when I really dealt with a very bad situation, it didn't stop until I left that place. So you may need to move. It could be an indication of that. And I find like there's been many times when I'm getting ready to move, that the spiritual energy picks up like big time. It seems to be an indication, like if stuff starts happening that's strange and unusual, spiritual activity like that, it's usually an indication to me that like something's wrong with the place energetically and me. Like, there's going to be a severance. And like sometimes it's that they don't want you to go, so they kick up chaos. Like you really have to question yourself, like what's going on with me spiritually, and like what's happening here, and how is it a reflection of me. But you may need to get away from the space. Could be that. It may not be possible for you, I don't know. What is a Churchill Downs? A Churchill Downs. Is that an artist I'm not familiar with? If I owned a drone and lived near Terry, I'd be outside her window too, Freddie. Oh my. Tisk tisk. All right, all right. Terry, who will win the debate between Josh and Jalen if it doesn't devolve before a decisive winner emerges? Oh, I was voting for it to devolve, so I don't know. I think that I don't know. I really am not that familiar with either of them enough to make a judgment call here. I'm really like not sure how this debate is going to go. Like honestly. Terry, how would I feel about acreage land? I think it's a great investment to have, but I also kind of don't like that life and lifestyle. And you have to understand, like, in my physical condition, it's not comfortable for me to kind of be out of a very city kind of environment just to get around, and enjoy things. Like, I'd be very stuck. So, yeah, I love the idea of having land. If I had a space that was big enough that I could do all of my things in, and I could get around in it comfortably and use it well, like that would be amazing. But it sounds to me in my own mind, it kind of sounds kind of like a difficult thing to manifest, a place that's accessible where I can, do everything I need to do and get around easily and, kind of have that connection with the land. Like, it seems like a lot. So yeah, I prefer like the paved sidewalks and roads and things, and having things around. I don't like the idea of having to drive somewhere to get something that I want. I want it all to be near me and accessible, like easily without having to go very far. I don't know, I'm that way. I think I've answered this question. I mean, it would be amazing if I had my kind of home, like if I could envision it and have it the way I need it, like it'd be amazing. Like someplace that's just made for me, and then I have enough room to, have some like separation and do the things I want to do, like have my own studio. Oh God, like that would be amazing. I have a friend who does have her own land and she has a studio. It's like this totally separate space that she just has, you know, where she's able to work and do whatever she wants. Um, it's amazing. The thing about the place though is the stairs are killer. Like I mean I can't even go there anymore. So like and even when I could it was really difficult. Um so yeah, I think um there's it's hard to like envision things that are like ADA accessible and like also out in the country or land. Wow, look at this. I remember my parents went on a long trip when I was younger and living with them at home, and I resolved myself to deep cleaning the house and the foliage and cooking. After it, I was tired. However, the house literally became a different place. Yeah, I know, that's true. When my mom walked in upon return, she said, Wow, my dad had this huge grin on his face. A man makes his house. Churchill Downs is a equestrian venue, a famous equestrian. God, I know. I would look so good on a horse. Yes, I know. I know. A real original King Alpha who knows how to kill a bear and create a koi fish pond and plant a cherry blossom around the pond for Terry to enjoy. That is so true. That is so true. Tomas, I know you're right. I deserve that, don't I? I deserve a castle, like really a fine castle built for me. I mean, that would be lovely, wouldn't it? I love fish. I do love fish. I had a fish. He was a wonderful creature. I got so much enjoyment from him. I wanted to have a fish when I moved in here. I bought like a tank and everything, but I kind of realized that it wasn't a good idea. So there it is, sitting on top of my fridge. It just would be too much, yeah. And I was looking at like, okay, cleaning the tank properly, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be, not that I can't do it, and but I want to like, it's just a lot. So if I had a pond where they lived, and people who came and like, dealt with it, who were professionals, throughout the year, that would be a much different situation. Basically, we're talking like to live out in the country, we have to be incredibly wealthy. That's all I'm going to say because otherwise it's just not going to work. I'm going to be unhappy otherwise. I'm going to be unhappy and wistful and longing for things. And that's just not a good position to put someone like me in. Oh, hmm. Good advice. Dropping in briefly before I get back to business. Oh, my Tomas has been so busy lately. My little fox. What is he getting into? Oh, that sounds good. Mm, that's good. I thought it'd be nice to do a cruise, but then I was kind of looking into it. I was like, maybe sometime in the future. Not now. It's too much now to deal with. It just would be so lovely to be on the sea, you know? To travel that way. I haven't really traveled that way. I've only traveled by like ferries a few times, I think. Never really properly been on the water for a period of time, going from one place to another. I just think it would be a really, a really good experience for me. Listen to this. Enjoying the live stream, frying catfish and taters and watching the sky for aliens. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Castle Grayskull is already occupied. Ugh, too bad. And Terry, you said incredibly wealthy, laugh, see, fellas, it's always about the money. And Terry, you were doing so well. Oh dear. And this is to live out in the country. Yes. Yeah. If we're talking about, yeah, my comfort, yeah. I don't see living out like in the country in like a normal house to be very appealing. It would have to be a very special situation for me to be comfortable, you know? Yeah. Otherwise, I'd rather stay in the city where I'm comfortable. I don't think that's much to ask, you know? Tomas is also spurring me on to remind me of like what I'm worthy of. These things take money. Having a pond is a serious investment, you know, and having a place that's accessible, you know, where I can get out and be outside and be comfortable, you know, with ease. Like that ain't cheap. You know, I'm not built for a cheap man. I'm just not, you know. I'm just not. Physically, it's physically, you know. I'm a lot to handle. I'm high maintenance, okay? That's the reality. High maintenance woman. There are many women who are not high maintenance. So if that's what you're into, you know, I wish you well. Alas. King Alpha is being asked if he is Cajun. Cajun. Yeah, the catfish. I can't date another Cajun, okay? If that's, yeah, Cajuns. Oh, I've dated a Cajun. That's so true, Tomas. Tomas knows the game. Yes, indeed. Why do you have to give the game away, Tomas? Why? Hi, Salazar Nation. How you doing? Salazar Art Nation in the house. What about a goggled Hispanic? I have never dated a goggled Hispanic. People ask me all the time if I'm Spanish. Interesting. Hmm. And we have members of the chat doxing their racial makeup. Haha, your ancestors were doing what they wanted. Amazing. America could be an amazing place like that. I know it is. I love hearing that. America is such an amazing place. Like really, when you kind of think about it, how blessed we are to be here and like to have the variety all around us. Culturally speaking, like there's so many different kinds of people here. You know, like people are always like traveling to find someone. I'm like, look, there's so many different cultures already here. And then the people who get like mixed up from all of them, it's like, that's so beautiful. Like over time, the way like all the people blend together, it's really amazing. My family reunion looks like a trip to the state fair. Hmm. How exciting. I don't know. What does it mean to you? Blue means a lot of different things. Does it feel protective? It could be. I mean, what shade of blue is it? You know, I'm also wondering that. Like, and did I ask you about, you mentioned them before, like, are they in your mind's eye or are they like visual, like happening? Or are you seeing them like in your mind in the place? Let Terri alone from her past. Oh my. I remember when the water was blue. Do you? Do you mean like the ocean water? I mean, anytime it was ever in a glass. I've never had blue water in a glass. I don't think I have anyway. It was always clear. Yeah, I do remember the ocean being blue when I would look out on it. But it wasn't always like, it was different colors depending on like the time of year and like where the tide was at, that kind of thing. Because I grew up near the water. When I was really little, when I lived in Homer, my dad would take me out to the water like almost every day. I'd go to the beach and play on the beach. So I kind of had that intimate relationship with the spit there. And then in Anchorage, it's also on the water. Now, where I lived wasn't close to the water, but you know, as I got older, I would sometimes bicycle down across town, you know, to even the downtown area of Anchorage has some parts where you can get to the ocean. I mean, it's not exactly an ocean. It's what is the body of water that Anchorage is on? It's a peninsula, I think. So it's on a peninsula there. So the water is kind of coming in from the ocean. But yeah, you could go and kind of be at the ocean in various parts of Anchorage. So, sometimes I would do that, or I would, my dad and I often would take drives along the Turnagain Arm to go to like Girdwood. Um, and, sometimes I would get out, at different areas along the way, not always, but there'd be these points, and they have the like, out there, they have these mud flats, which are really dangerous. They can turn into quicksand at times. And I actually had one time when I was on the mud flat that I had an issue with like my foot getting a little stuck. So, yeah, after that, I was a lot more careful on the mud flats. Like I didn't go out on them at all. So yeah, I mean, they're very dangerous. Like people do get killed on them, especially like they'll get stuck and then the tide will come in and like, kill them. Um, so yeah, I remember seeing the sea at different like tide levels throughout the years, and in that area and in certain parts, like the tide is so crazy. Like it'll go out 30 feet, it's like immense. Like I remember going clam digging one year with my friend and his family, and oh man, like there was this massive boulder on the flats, and it just, I don't know, it covered like the whole thing. And like the tide came in while we were there. So, we fled the beach, as the tide was coming in. It comes in fast as well. And I just remember kind of going back up to where we were when we came down, like where we parked, and seeing like that the whole thing was covered and that this massive boulder that had been on the beach was like submerged in the water. It was wild. Anyway, you see them in your home and they're royal blue, and you also see them in your mind's eye. Okay, I understand. I mean, I don't know. To me, honestly, like it sounds like you're dealing with something kind of elemental, or, maybe of that variety of spiritual activity. So I don't know. I would just be cautious about it, because like blue makes me think, when I've seen it, it's always been around them, when I've dealt with them. So anyway, Tomas likes my updo. That's 2 votes for the hair. Or no, I have 3 votes for the hair. Three likes. mm. Y'all are funny. Chatting with each other. Chatting with each other. Hmm. Let me see if I had anything else I wanted to share. Let me check my watch later to see if I saved anything. To put that on and talk about it. Yeah, when is the debate that they're having? I forgot to check the time on that. Okay, here we go. JS Open Adventures. When are they doing that? Okay, this doesn't say when they're doing that. Whatever. Okay, like we'll figure it out. I'll figure it out. Oh God. Okay. No, I haven't. Okay, I thought I did. Maybe it was something else I'm thinking about. Hmm. Hmm. Oh yeah, I forgot I watched that. I watched this really cute like short film with Meg Wynne Owen in it. Meg Wynne Owen is a Welsh actress that appeared in Upstairs Downstairs. I think she was also in that was it Godsbury Park film? I think maybe it's not that one. Oh dear, yeah. But yeah, she played my favorite character in Upstairs Downstairs, actually Hazel. Um, so uh, watched that film, Lorne and Breeze. It was quite interesting. There was definitely like a weird lesbian theme to the film. Like I don't remember their character names, but one girl kind of like initiated this idea that they go out into the country and they start an herb farm together, this business, and they work to like repair this cottage that is like a mess, and then they work on their farm and they deal with like all the hassles of living out in the country. And you kind of get the feeling that one of the girls is like in love with the other one, so the one that kind of initiated the idea. And then the other girl's like boyfriend comes back from out of the country and kind of like takes her away, and there's like this struggle between the two of them, and the woman relents and just disappears, and it's kind of, yeah, it's kind of sad. um hmm, hmm. Oh my, interesting chat. They're so helpful to one another. It's nice to see. Interesting chat, I have to say. Yeah, advice for someone dealing with supernatural activity in their home. What was I talking about? Yeah, the Meg Wynne Owen film. Anyway, Meg Wynne Owen, just beautiful redhead, like very, I don't even know how to describe her, but yeah, she kind of had a really sad story at the end of her life. Like it wasn't really announced when she died, and then like when it finally was announced that she had passed away, you found out that she like had sounded like she had dementia, and that the person who was responsible for taking care of her had like exploited her and basically just absconded with her money and wasn't like managing anything for her. Quite disturbing, honestly. It sucks to see that she ended up in that position. Um, ugh, ugh, goodness. Yeah, I'm sore today. I am. It's like I want my body to relent and kind of stop being so stiff and sore, but it looks like it may have stopped raining. I don't know for sure. Maybe I should check the weather app and see if there's going to be any relief. It might be nice to get out just a little bit, get some fresh air. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to check the weather app and see. We're going to find out. Will the weather be nice? Will there be any break in the precipitation? It's not predicting that there will be. I do want to at least go to the store and get some fruit. See what's fresh, I don't think I had any fruit yesterday. Well, I did. I had I did not eat well this week either. Yeah, I was not eating well this week. I was not sleeping well. I mean, until like the end when I finally got enough rest. But not getting ready. I was not living well this week, and now I'm kind of just feeling tired from it, I suppose. Maybe I should look at, do you need to do a grocery order as well? See, there's so many things to manage. I find it overwhelming. I'm sure everybody does, just working and then managing my home. It's like, ugh, I have to do all of this. It's so much. Okay, so let me do transfer here. My grocery budget for the week. I think that's pretty generous. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I should kind of come up. Terri, it's not overwhelming if you have a husband. Ugh. Tomas, don't rub it in my face that I do not have a husband to take care of me. It's my fault, isn't it? I turned away all those nice guys who were offering me the world on a silver platter all those years ago. JK. JK, that's not how it went down. So yeah, I mean, okay. I know that. I know that my life would be easier if I didn't have to do all of it. Terri needs to be wiped up, but there's work to do. I know. You better get that money for me, honey. You got work to do. There's work to do. Get over yourself. Is there work to do? Is there? There probably is. Why don't you do your work and I'll do mine? Okay, let me see. I don't know. I'm kind of looking at the fruit now that they have available. The strawberries seem to be pretty good lately. I think I'll get some strawberries. Strawberries. No, blueberries. Grapes in a while. I've been kind of wanting grapes. Let me see. Yeah, do they have grape? What kind of grapes do they have? Of course, they have grapes. But what manner of grapes? I like those ones. Those kind of look good. The pink grapefruit's on sale. I've been actually wanting some grapefruit. Yeah, I'm gonna get one. Yeah, I'll get these grapes too. They're out of the cotton candy seedless grapes. Those are so good. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, we'll get one of those. Let's look through my buy it again, see what we have in here. I'd have to push that reset button before I could do anything. That's nice. The reset button. You know, if you don't like me the way I am, then oh well. Keep it moving. What do I want? Tomas says, I'm finally prepared and well adorned today, Terry. And thank you. I do look nice, don't I? I do look nice. Yeah. I wonder if you would like my perfume as well. It's a nice scent. Yeah, I don't know. Buy it again. Nothing's really sticking out. Maybe it'd be nice to get some olives. Tomas, no. No. We're not clicking on that. Oh dear. Terry needs to be unwesternized. Why? I'm a Western woman. Why should I be anything else? What is your problem with Western women? Unwesternized. Are you not a Western man? What is that? I mean, what a weird statement. How weird. Oh, grape nuts. I haven't had grape nuts in so long. Maybe it would be nice to have some grape nuts. Grape nuts and whole milk. Oh, so good. Was my life better when I had grape nuts? It's like kind of calling to me. It's like, oh, it might be nice. A little barley. That little barley flavor they have. It's so comforting. I don't know. But no, I should resist. I shouldn't have cereal. Should stick to the real food. Maybe I'll get, salad sounds nice. Yeah, having some salad would be nice. What else? Yeah, I'm not really coming up with much else that I'm interested in. You're here with me while I do my shopping. Isn't it fun? Yes, I need to browse more the different. You know what? I need half and half too. Terry is feeling herself today, all confident and cocky. Yeah, I am. Why are you trying to take it away? What is your obsession with humbling me? Like, what's that about? What's going on with you where you feel the need to like try to speak to me that way? Like, come on. Ridiculous, absurd. Okay, let's see. I don't want half and half. Like they're low on half and half too. Like their options are not good. But hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna get some whipping cream. That's right. Okay, have a nice meal. Yes. All this work, all this talk of food has made you go cook. Is Kiara still here? I don't know. I'm a cute little firecracker. Thank you. Thank you. I'm a bit like that, I suppose. Okay. Okay, so for fruit, okay, I think I've got a decent mix of fruit that I'm getting. Grapes, strawberries, and grapefruit. That sounds pretty good. Um, Veggies. Hmm. I'm getting that salad mix. Do I do some potatoes? It might be nice to do some potatoes. I don't know. I do have those. Hmm. Yeah, I should get those again. So cucumbers. We'll get some mini cucumbers, those little baby ones. Very good. Okay. Yeah, it's Cinco de Mayo coming up, isn't it? Does anybody celebrate Cinco de Mayo? I don't really. My friend Lavinia was born on the 5th of May, so I guess I celebrate in that capacity. Her birthday. Snacks. Do I want some rice cakes? Look at me. I'm like wanting grains. I'm like, I want some of these and some of these. Some snacky snacks. I don't know if yogurt's really a snack. They put yogurt in here as like a snack. I don't know. Maybe sometimes I do snack on it. Yeah, I'll get a couple yogurt. It'll be nice. That'll be nice to have. Hmm. Yeah, none of that stuff. That is not decent snacks. Not decent snacks. Look at Tomas. I prefer my women to be a bit more, my women. All of Tomas's many women around the world. On the outspoken side, because I tend to be more observant and reserved. But when it is time for me to speak, she must take on that role. So we are a team that way. The orientation is different depending on our company. If it is friends, I lay back. If potential hostiles, she lays back. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I know, yeah, not everybody's the same, you know? Not everybody is the same. Not everybody's going to work well with like everybody else. Like, not everybody wants the same things. It's a real fact of reality, you know? Do I want to get any frozen type meals to have around? Do I have any frozen food that might be good to have? A lot of this is junk nonsense. But every now and then they'll have something kind of decent. You have these like mussels, Michelle. I've never really eaten mussels, which is so weird to me because I remember I would find them on the beach all the time. Like mussels were everywhere when I was little, but I never ended up trying them. So weird to me now. Hmm. 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 Yes. What do they have? They do not have the one I like. So therefore, alas, I will not get it. Okay. Here we have some. Hmm. Hmm. That might be kind of zucchini fries. I'm like, that might be interesting. What are those like? Let me look at what's in them. Okay, corn and wheat flour. Yeah, I don't want to eat that. Okay. Um, oh, that sounds good. Yeah, that sounds like a good thing. Try them in complement with another fish. Yeah, I think that's a good idea. Ugh, it does make me miss my homeland though sometimes when I think about like the salmon. The fresh salmon that we ate. Ugh, so much salmon that I had. The smoked salmon that we cooked in our cooker, our little smoker. It was like candy. And the smoked salmon I buy here, it's just not the same. It's not the same as when you do it yourself, you know? And like you have to pull it from the bone. Oh, so good. And the skin is like on the back. Oh, hmm. Hmm. Yeah, are there any? Hmm. Yeah, I'm not really seeing anything I'm into here. It never is. It never is. Uh, Terry C., a husband could do all of that, but you'd still find something to gripe about. Indeed, I would. That's a woman's job. How else is a man to know what to do if a woman isn't complaining about something? What would he do with himself? How would he make himself useful if she doesn't point him in the direction to do so? A woman who's never satisfied is an asset, keeps a man busy. It's good for him, it keeps him strong. You should never be completely pleased with anything a man does. You should always, you know, make sure he knows that there is more to do. Oh dear. I'm looking at ice cream. I'm like wondering if I want ice cream, but nothing's really jumping out and saying like I'm the ice cream you want. And I'm very particular about ice cream too. Like I'm not that into it, but I like occasional like very specific like little flavors. So I'm seeing like is there anything that is appealing in that way. But I'm not really saying anything that's like, ooh. It's too bad. When I go out for ice cream, like if I go get ice cream at a like ice cream parlor, my mentality is very different. It's interesting to me, but like if I bring it into my home, it has to be like very special. I don't know. I did try the Earl Grey ice cream. So there was an Earl Grey tea ice cream that I had. That was all right. Oh, they have a pumpkin cheesecake one. I don't know about that. That sounds like too much. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna get it. Oh, here we go. It's pistachio. There's a Swedish style light ice cream, mint chocolate chip. That is an American thing. Mint chocolate chip is an American thing. I know. What is America's obsession with like mint chocolate chip? What is it about us? Oh, that sounds kind of good. It's like a big thing of ice cream though. Ugh. It's not going to get eaten if it's like that much. It's just going to go bad. I like the little ones too. So it's like, ugh. Unless I'm like having someone like over to eat it, because there's been times when I've gotten ice cream as like a dessert when like I have a dinner with a friend or something. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think we're having ice cream this week. Let's see. See, that's what I like about you, Terry. You're brutally honest. I remember when I went to Ecuador for an engineering project, and we were to conduct a feasibility assessment for the design and construction of a water system. We were working, and while we were working and communing with a community, and there was a man that owned a whole farm of bananas and other crop that shared some with us. It was the best tasting fruit I have ever had in my entire life. Oh, that sounds amazing. Don't pour your bear, or I don't know if that's a bear or bull, on all men. Don't pour all your blankety blank emojis as if you're the spokeswoman for women. Okay, and likewise, do you see how that's you? Some women actually appreciate the simplicity of things. Those are the keepers. I am a very simple person, so I don't know what you're on about. Like, whatever. Some women also, like, don't have any standards either. And I'm not sure what you're kind of getting at. I'm aware of like dynamics between men and women and how women should behave in those systems, you know. And my nature is not like as it seems or whatever, so it's just weird to me. But like, I will defend women who set standards, and have high standards. and like, find things to complain about, as you put it, like, and not every man doesn't like that. Some men do like that. Some men see the value in that in their life. Some women take it too far, that's a thing too, but I don't think that dynamic is unhealthy or wrong between the sexes. I should get some eggs. Yeah, some eggs sound good. Because, yeah, I think I'm kind of low on eggs. Yeah. Get some large brown eggs. Doesn't that sound nice? Hmm. Yeah, I've got some interesting breakfast kind of foods laid out here with the eggs. It's like, oh, here, get this, get this, get this. And I'm like, yeah, that does sound kind of good. You're right. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll get some muffins. Or maybe I'll get some bagels and cream cheese. I'm not sure which. Yeah, I don't know. And they even have mini muffins and croissants. Maybe croissants would be nice to have. I haven't had any croissants in the house in a while. Eggs, croissant, some sausage. Maybe that would be nice. I don't know. What am I feeling? This is hard. Grocery shopping is hard. It's like, what do I want to eat the next few days? Oh, Tomas, that's so sad. Maybe it was the altitude of the Andes, the richness of the soil, the beauty of the moment, the difference in the way they were grown, that banana was so good that I stopped eating them from there. A woman is supposed to serve her husband. Yeah, and a husband is supposed to serve his wife as well. Marriage is about service. Where are my brown purple at? I like women who have high standards, but they must also meet those standards for themselves. That is true, Tomas. And what's wrong with that? Do you have a problem with that? Does that upset you? Like, what's wrong with that? And actually, the extremely wealthy comment was in relation to moving me out of a city environment into a rural environment. Okay? So I'm talking about what is going to be required for that situation. Really, I'd be very content with a middle class existence, but we would need to be urban. Because I'm not doing that. If I have to go out into an environment where I'm not comfortable and I'm isolated, I expect that it's going to be a place that I really enjoy living. A place that's comfortable for me to live in, where I'm like able to enjoy it without suffering because of it. Like, I don't know what's hard to understand about that comment. It was in context of the conversation we were having. Living in the country is not comfortable. Like, I grew up in Alaska. So, okay, like, I know what it takes to live in some of these environments. And like, if I have to live like that, I'm not doing it. I expect a certain level of comfort. Hmm. Moving on. Moving on. Let's move on. What am I going to eat this week? Oh, those look kind of good. Those little snacking cheeses. Maybe I should get some of that. Yeah, I've been craving mozzarella, actually. I'm going to get those. I love those little balls of mozzarella. Hmm. Hmm. Cinnamon Life is on sale. That's my favorite cereal. I don't eat it, though. That and the grape nuts. Ooh, they have a cottage cheese that already has pineapple mixed in. Let me read the ingredients. Is something off with it? Yeah, I think I read the word syrup. Let me see. Oh, yeah, we're not eating that. Not eating that. Okay. Dang, that's too bad. Hmm. 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 Indeed, Tomas. Mm-hmm. How to get Terry to submit. Indeed. How to get Terry to submit. I don't know. I mean, I think submission is something that happens naturally. Like, I don't have problems submitting in certain circumstances, with certain men. Like, I don't have any problem submitting because they're just in charge. And I don't worry, or like, I know that they're thinking ahead. When I don't have to worry, I submit, you know? When I don't have to worry my pretty little head, I submit. And that's basically it. Those are the men in my life where I'm like, okay, you're in charge. What you're saying we're doing, we're doing. Like, but that's not like that's not like most men I meet. I shouldn't say there are men like that I meet, but like, so like I have that kind of dynamic. I think of like men in my family or like, that kind of thing. It's no issue. But when it's a like guy I don't know who's like trying to get me into some sort of situation with him and like have a life with him, it's a bigger deal as well, I think, what needs to be considered. Okay. But like I can totally see if that circumstance comes up where it's like, I don't have to worry my pretty little head, then it'll be good. Okay. So I've got those. Okay. Okay, I want to get some of those like little nice breakfast sausages I saw. They had these nice breakfast sausages. Yeah, I think I'd rather do that than having bacon in the house. That's so true. You're streaming from your new TV. I'm on TV. Look, I'm on TV. What do I bring to the table? I don't bring anything. Yeah, nothing. Sorry. Nothing. Nothing. Mwahaha. Okay. All right, let's look at this. What have I concocted as far as my cart here for the week? Like, what have I got to eat? Frederick tells me, I don't know. That sounds like a nice address. It would depend on the state, I suppose. It's a good address, though. Has a nice sound to it. I have to look up the numerology, I suppose. Keep that face to the camera, woman, so they can see that pretty face. Thank you. That's nice. That's so nice. Thank you. I'm looking at like I'm doing my grocery order. Oh, you want me to look up this property? Where is it located? Is it the only? Oh dear. Okay, let's see. Let's look this up. Okay, I will look it up for you, Tomas. Okay, it's in DC. Okay. Let's see. 2400 Foxhall Road Northwest. Oh, here, it pops up right away. Let's see. Let's look it up. I'm loading it, so we'll share the screen and look at it together. Oh my, that's lovely. I love the design of that house. How cute. Okay, 28 mil for this. Look at that banister. Okay, that floor is gorgeous. I love I love that kind of circular layout as you enter the place. It's very, very interesting. So, oh, wait, no, this is, okay, so let's just look. Okay. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Well, I love that floor. Look at that. I love those shapes. Nice little centerpiece, and then it opens out into the backyard. Oh, that's gorgeous. I love that. Wow. Okay, nice lounging space. I think more than that, it's just kind of, you could use it for different things. Lines on the wall, I don't know about that. I'd probably want to keep the line elsewhere. Like, look at the design of it. Hmm. Interesting kitchen area. Okay. Dining room area. Hmm. Oh, look at those. The sunbeds. Yeah, that looks like a nice space. Mm. Oh, yeah, that's lovely. Come out of your bed, in the morning and just go out on the like patio and get some of that morning sun. Ugh, looks lovely. I love the closet space. Okay. Like the bath and shower. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. I like that. Oh, I suppose that's like his and hers. There's a gym. All right. That's nice. Yeah, having a gym area is amazing in your home. That would be lovely. You could do so much with it. I love that area. The pool is nice. Look at that pool. I probably need some accommodation put in. Is there a little golfing area? Oh my grandpa would love it. He could come visit and have do his little golfing in the morning. Yeah, I think that's it. That's the one. How gorgeous. Okay, thank you for sharing. Yeah, that looks nice. Yeah, I like that place. I like it. It's classy. It's classy and it looks like functional. And there's a lot of room to do different things. And it's also nice that it has a gym. Like I like that. If you're gonna live in like a big house like that, I think having a gym is like a really good asset to have. I like the space of it too because like you live next to the people who tell Kimmel what to say. Oh dear. I like it. I like the space. I mean, hey, when it gets to that point, it's hard to not like a home. I've not seen many homes in that price bracket where I'm like, no, I don't like it. But I like this one. It has charm. It's distinct. It's elegant. It's classy. It'll age well. Like the design of it. It has a kind of timeless thing to it that, like, obviously all the modern conveniences. It's a good home. It looks like you could do a lot with it. Upkeep though would be a lot, but I'm sure you'd have space for that too. I mean, hmm, okay. With these baby biscuits, they have arrowroot biscuits for the babies. Yum. Why did they get the arrowroot biscuits? Snacks for baby. Oh my. Yeah, most of these don't look like things I'd want to give a baby, but okay. All right. Hmm. 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 Stop arguing. Stop arguing about this. Why are you all arguing? Y'all are arguing about some dumb stuff. Oh my goodness. Oh dear. Oh my goodness. Hmm. Recommended for me. Do I want any of this food that's being recommended to me? Let me see. Eh. Not really. Hmm. Maybe that would be good. I have round roast. Yeah, I need some like red meat. So I'm kind of looking like what should I get? I'm not very good at cooking meat, to be honest. It grosses me out, so usually I'll do a roast just because it's easiest. Hmm. A lamb leg. It'd be so interesting to cook a lamb leg. I've always wondered. Do I have what it takes? Ooh. Let me get that. 3 pounds. Yeah, I'll get this. Yeah, I'll get that instead. Uh, wow, you don't cook? I mean, I cook occasionally, but like I'm a working woman. I don't have time to cook every day. I have to like, you know, figure out things to eat that don't require a lot of prep time. So usually throughout the week, I'm eating kind of like more simply, and then I'll like have a nice home cooked meal, like, a couple times a week when I have the time to make it happen. So I do cook, but like, you know, not every day, not in the capacity that I would like to. You know, always make sure there's something to eat in house, but I do have to, make do with what I can. Do I want to get some mushrooms? I don't know. I don't think so. I used to get mushrooms like every time. Like they were like a staple, but I haven't been feeling them lately. Okay, so I've got, do I have enough fruit? I need to be real with myself because I go through fruit. Maybe I should get a couple pounds of strawberries. Yeah, that's a good idea. Get 2 pounds. Okay, I think I'm ready. Oh my goodness, y'all. What if I homeschooled over the internet? I mean, I've already completed school, so I don't need to homeschool over the internet. I mean, I guess I could do furthering education if I wanted. I probably would choose to do something like that just because, the energy it would take to actually attend a university at this point in my life does not seem like something I can really muster. So, that sounds kind of nice. Maybe I want those. Yeah, I'm gonna get those. Okay. They got me. mm, mm, mm. Okay. 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 Picking my substitutions. Tomas is a window shopper. Oh my goodness. Terry just letting the stream die. I can't take it anymore. Yeah, I know. I'm terrible, aren't I? Oh dear. Whatever will you do? If I want it delivered today, it looks like they can't deliver until like late at night. Oh, I hate the late night deliveries because it's just so crazy. Tomorrow. 6 to 8 a.m. That sounds like good. Okay. We'll get it delivered tomorrow then. Let me make sure my address is correct. Okay. Yeah, last time I got my delivery, the driver said the address was coming up incorrect. And then I looked at it and it was like different. But now I'm looking at it, it seems correct. So we should be good. Okay. Yeah. Place order. Okay. Nice. All right. I will have groceries tomorrow. If a woman laughs at you, is it submission in the animal world? It can be. Sometimes women laugh to diffuse situations or to kind of like smooth things over. So, yeah, I would say could be. Not necessarily, but, better to think it is. No, you leave Tomas alone. You leave my little fox be. Why are you picking on my little fox? Are you mad that you have not earned a nickname for yourself yet? Dear, why is my little fox getting picked on? It's not correct. You love me, sweetie. Thanks, sweetie. Bye, sweetie. Better to be severe than avoid being severe. Do you think so? I'm looking at the time now and it says that 3 hours have passed since I got on here. You know what that means? I need to take stock. I need to focus. I need to get off of here and go about my business, I think. What do you all think? Unless you have something else that you wish to ask me about or have me talk about. But I think maybe I've been indulgent here enough. The nails have been fixed. Different topics have been brought up. There have been internal beefs in the chat, but also mutual help and understanding. I know, it's sweet. Who knows? Maybe Tomas intends to purchase this home for me. He wishes to do that. Isn't that sweet? I do like looking at properties, though. I do like looking at them. Different places. Sometimes I see an interesting address and I like look it up just to see what's there. Because I do come across them from time to time. I'm like, where is this? What does it look like there? What's the neighborhood like? Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you haven't already subscribed, give it a go. I'm out. 100. The big one with the koi pond. Yeah, well, this place didn't have the koi pond that Tomas is envisioning. Tomas wants his own little, what's it called? He wants his own little gym area. He's tall too. I mean, he's Dutch, so he wants that little basketball area so he can play basketball with his other lanky, tall friends. It just makes sense, you know. Yeah. Do I like being rescued? I've never been rescued. I suppose maybe. No one's ever, has anyone ever rescued me? I've had people help me. I don't know if it's the same thing exactly. I don't like being in distress. I'll say that. Being in distress is unpleasant. I don't know. Do you like to rescue women? I wonder. A lot of guys do. A lot of guys won't get with a woman unless she's, you know, needy in that way. I mean, it makes sense. I mean, a masculine man wants to feel needed, you know. He wants to feel like the hero. And women who are in distress give men an opportunity to come in and be the hero, you know. I think it's from like their trauma with their mothers. You know, they couldn't rescue their mother as a child. And so they look out into the world for like women who are in some level of distress that they can rescue so that they can like subconsciously make it okay, you know, inside what they saw mommy go through. I mean, I think that's a big part of it, you know. rescuing mommy. And then if they rescue mommy, then they can have mommy all to themselves again. It's weird out here, you know. Yeah. Thinking. Feeling stirred, you know. I mentioned I'm probably going to get going soon. So I'm just thinking, but I also want to put a few more lines on this page before I go. Yeah, I'm kind of thinking what I'm going to do. I kind of do want to go outside, especially since my grocery order's not coming until tomorrow. I don't have any fruit in the house. I want some fruit today. So I'll go to the shop and get like something. So I don't have anything in house. I was hoping to go to the farmer's market this morning, but yeah, it was raining so hard. I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Are they still going? I mean, I think they're still going for an hour, but like it's going to be so busy at this point, I think, that it might not be worth my effort of going over there to get anything. Unless the fruit will be picked through. Yeah, it's best not to, you know. I mean, it depends on the situation if you're going to be of any assistance. I mean, let's say you see a woman struggling to move something, that's a time when it might be appropriate to like offer to help, you know, or you see her carrying something heavy, that's a time to offer to help, you know, or she's encumbered in some way, like, but if her life's a mess because she's crazy and doesn't take any responsibility and like all of that chaos, then that's a different situation, right? Where you don't need to be cap and save a hoe in that situation, you know. That's not good for you. No, sir. Not something you need to be getting involved in. Well, okay. It's been real. I've enjoyed all of you. Funny group this morning. Good group. Solid group. Good people. Dystopian deep dives here. We had Frederick in LA. We had King Original Alpha, Vasco Vasconomi. We had Tomas. We had Kiera. We had Weird Beatnik. Am I missing anyone? I could be. I very well could be. And if I am, I'm sorry. I know, why, God, why? All things must end. It's been over 3 hours. I've been here long enough, I think. We've been through a lot, and you did show up kind of late, you know, so these things happen. But I cannot continue to justify sitting here and playing anymore. I do have business to get to, and I want to get outside, I think. While at least the rain has seemed to slow down a little bit, just to, you know, like I said, get my fruit, and I don't know, I might get like a coffee or something. So yeah, it's been real. It's been fun. Take care, everybody. Bye.